Howdy, howdy, folks.
Good evening.
We are back again. What a little bit of a different time. And sorry for not being on Sunday and then rescheduling from yesterday. We had some scheduling mishaps. Well, life happens. And then today, Lindy's having a little bit of some pressing matters that she's working on today. So she won't, I don't think she might hop in if she gets done in time, but otherwise she's got some things to take care of. But just a busy week all around. This week has been a little bit crazy, but we're here. We're happy to see you guys, and
Yes.
I'm gonna have to speak on Lindy's behalf, and so is Michael. So as far as this episode goes, but yeah, how's your week been, Michael?
It's all right. I'm still fasting from last week and down 31 pounds just in fluid, so I'm very happy about that. I'm feeling a little better, moving around a little bit better, so that's good. How about you, Ted? How's your week going? How you doing?
It is going fantastic. Let's see, very busy. Um, Still putting together gym equipment, believe it or not. I got this rack that came with like 3 instruction books on how to put it together. It was quite the insane thing for sure. But gym's almost complete. Feeling pretty good. Started a new workout routine, which I'm loving. It's getting plenty of weight off. Really enjoying that, getting stronger. And I tried, I think it's what you call picanha. I'm pretty sure that picanha is a sirloin cap roast. I'm pretty sure that's picanha. If not, it's Costco calls it a sirloin cap roast, but I think Brazilians call it picanha. But hey, at any rate, I smoked it. I smoked 2 of them actually in the smoker, and it was absolutely delicious. I'm definitely doing that again, and such a good deal for what you get. It's like half the price of like a New York strip loin roast, and like a third of the price of a like rib roast.
And could you tell the difference?
Yes, but in a good way. So yes, it's got a distinct different flavor, but it's good. It's like really good. It's not better. It's better than New York, I think. I think it tastes better. The flavor is better than in New York, and it's equal, I would say, in flavor to a ribeye, but just different. But different in a really good way. And the tenderness is maybe slight. It's more tender than a New York, and a little bit less tender than a ribeye. Especially there's one end that has some tendons that goes to like one or two
Right.
spots where some tendons go through at one end of the tip, and that can get pretty chewy. But I'm telling you, that thing was tasty, and it was like, I don't know, I got 2 big. I forgot to look how much they were, but I suppose it was around 8 pounds or 9 pounds of meat for like $60, and it was prime grade. So yeah, I'm definitely doing that
Yeah.
again. Those things are delicious. So let's see. Oh, this is an interesting comment. I think I can't tell if this, I'm a new 501c3, which I'm pretty sure that's nonprofit. 700 pounds, bedridden, and I want to make it. Well, absolutely, man. This is a good place to start for
We were all there.
100%. You can come back from that. We all did. Let's see.
Never give up.
Absolutely. Very, 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 very true. Love to help you. You can go ahead. My email is thecarnivorecure@gmail.com if you want to reach out, and we can get you into some of the right groups. So, but yeah, so it was fun and busy work week. It's kind of cooling off a bit, but it's going to get hot again this weekend.
Is it?
Yeah, it's starting to, the heat's starting to come again. Getting ready, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with a fast, because I just broke a fast on a 7-day fast on Saturday, and I'm supposed to start another 7-day fast this Saturday. But if I started on Saturday, then I will be fasting when I go to Wyoming to meat stock. And that's a bad idea to go to a meat tasting.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So I think I might be starting the fast either tomorrow or Thursday. And so if I do it tomorrow, I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to start it too soon to where I don't have enough days to refeed anything. But, so I might start it Thursday and just do a 6-day fast or something. Or I might even start Friday and do like a 3-day fast and then do like a, like a 3-day fast the next time and then roll back into a 7, like do 2 3s or a 3 and a 4, something like that. Trying to figure it out. I got to work around the meat. I'm not going down to a meat festival and being on a fast. That would be idiotic.
Yeah, that'd be really waste of time.
It would
be missing out, man. It'd be really tough too. Smelling
super
all that,
tough.
and seeing it.
Oh, good Lord. That'd be brutal. So yeah. But put in the chat where you guys are coming in from. And there we go. And we will get into our topic here. So mainly me and Lindy came up with this topic and Michael, but that was counting on Lindy going to be here. And then she couldn't be here. So yes. So that's about how sustainable carnivore really is, or if it's not, to some people. And basically I just been thinking about it, how freeing it is to be able to do these effortless fasts, but also be able to eat on, well, just like we were just talking, like if I want to do a 7-day or if I want to do a 3-day or a 4-day, I mean, it's all in the repertoire now. And there's just no hiccups on food or temptations or any of those problems anymore, And so me and Lindy were kind of talking about that, and it's, it is very freeing. And I was thinking about it because if I was to tell people how I eat right now, like if I told myself 20 months ago before I was off the SAD diet, I would have thought I would think that this is restrictive. And once you get here, once you're free from
cravings, you got that off switch.
Yeah, that addiction, and you have Lindy's off switch she talks about, then you have the freedom where this is just the easiest healthy, diet that I've ever been on. But
same for me.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've been trying to think about it on how, how to explain it to people, right? It's a little bit right now. If somebody asked me what I'm eating, I'd be like, well, I only eat every other week. And when I do eat, I'm eating like 54 egg yolks and like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of beef, that would sound.
You're still doing the eggs too, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm taking them down. However, I can tell you, I got these stupid egg white separators and they do not work. What a pile of junk. These things, they don't work. They don't work at all. I had to leave them in there forever. The egg whites would not run through there. And then
you just break them and drop them in there, and then it's supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's supposed to filter through, and I let it sit for like 7 hours. The yolks got crusty on the top. They never did run through. Finally, I was shaking them, trying to get them to go through there, and all I did was break all the yolks anyways, and then all the yolks and the egg whites finally came through. What an absolute crock of crap. So yeah, don't buy those for sure. But yeah, and I know it sounds crazy, but the reality of it is 12 egg yolks only take up about
hardly anything.
Yeah, I mean, not much, maybe 12 ounces.
Probably,
right?
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that. And if you were to go and have a protein shake or a creatine shake or a pre-workout or something, you drink about 12 ounces of that. And I just look at the egg yolks like they're a pre-workout and a post-workout. They're like a protein shake. And they just go down in 2 seconds, You
don't put nothing in there, a little salt or anything?
Nope. No. I just hit the egg yolks. They go down in a second. And I just move on. And so I really look at it like I'm just having like a pre-workout, a post-workout, and a protein shake. And then I do an OMAD with meat is what I've been doing. And then I only do that for 7 days and I fast for 7 days. But if I was to tell myself that this is what my food was going to look like 20 months from now, I'd be like, you are insane, sir. But I love it.
Never would have believed it.
No, and it's so freeing. I love it. So it's pretty crazy. Oh, hey, there's Missy. Hey, Missy. Todd, how did you cook the picanha? Google on YouTube has some good videos on the best methods. I wish I had a grill so I could follow his video. Yeah, Google is awesome. I love his stuff, and he's the first guy that I ever heard the word picanha because he's the only crazy guy that'll say that picanha is better than ribeye, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but it's good. But I just put it on the smoker. So I smoked it at 225 degrees for I was looking for an internal temperature of 129 degrees. And I think it took about almost just under 2 hours, I guess. It didn't take very long. And I also I did put a rub on it, and I don't know, it was okay. I got one of these Traeger rubs, and it was a Traeger coffee rub that was fairly tasty, and it was kind of like, all right. It even had a little bit of blackstrap molasses in it, but I really don't care because the rub is only on the outside, and if you don't get it,
not that much.
Yeah, you don't get a ton of it. But I mainly have been doing it because I was making all the meat with not even salt on it, which I don't have a problem with at all. I like it, but my mom eats this meat too, and she's got Parkinson's and she's got gastric bypass, and she's been complaining that it doesn't have enough flavor, enough salt, enough flavor. So I've been trying to do things to make it more palatable for her because she's under eating a bunch. So I did put some rubs this time on it. But what I ended up doing was I went to Costco. I got a 16 or 17 pound strip loin roast. So New York strip loin roast. And then I got about 9 pounds of this picanha, and I smoked all of it at the same time. And I love that because then you're just good for the entire week, for me and mom both. And man, it heats up nicely. I just take them and I put them in tin foil and I poke a few holes in them, and I go put them back out on the smoker and warm them up in 25 minutes, Yeah, delicious. So, but they are really good for sure. I do quite enjoy the picanhas. Let's see. But yeah, definitely put your guys' questions in the chat if you got any. But what are your guys' thoughts and how long? Put in the chat how long you've been carnivore and what your guys' thoughts are on the sustainability of it. And if you would have told yourself when you were first starting carnivore that you were going to eat this simply and like it, what would would you have thought it? Because I do think about that. I mean, if you told your old self from the pizza days, Michael, that this is how you're going to be eating.
Nope. I never thought I would be able to make it for this long.
No,
I've been, what's today? Today's the 13th. So a month, a year and a month. So 13 months I've been now. So this is the longest diet I've ever been able to sustain. Never would have thought I'd be able to make it this far. And I thought I would have gave in. And I'm happy with the results. This year, it's been a little slow. I've been up and down with my weight, with fluid, but I'm feeling good. So
that's awesome. Isn't it good?
Yeah,
feels so good. Let's see here. Hey, Mr. Todd, I hear that you like vinegar as a condiment. Do you have a favorite vinegar? Thank you. Yes, I use the apple cider. It's not the Bragg's now. It's the, what is that stuff called? It's either Fairchild or Fairfield. I think it's Fairfield. Hold on. Let me look it up. Sorry for the day.
Fairfield.
Fairfield. Yep, that's it.
Or Fairchild.
Is it Fairchild?
Fairchild apple cider vinegar raw.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yep, that's the one that I replaced Bragg's with because Bill Gates put his forever chemicals.
His peel shit.
Yeah, put his forever chemicals on there. So not no more, but that's the one that I like. And Jeff at the SBG, he is now a big fan. He's been telling me, everybody knocks it till you try it, but vinegar goes wonderful on beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gives it some nice kick.
I put it in my chilies I make.
I bet so.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 years, I've been carnivore. Every 3 months, I go to my doctor, and he's still waiting for my health to crash. She says it's dangerous, fad, not healthy. Right. Well,
Well, going to be waiting a long time.
she is going to be waiting a long time. And you're probably going to outlive her. So I don't think she's ever going to get that report she's looking for. I love it, but my teeth and other health issues make me feel ribeye is the easiest to eat and cook in my room, and I eat so much easier. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I fight that with my mom, right? She's got, in fact, we just went and got her, well, took her to the dentist so they can measure so they can get her new false teeth, and they're going to be here in 2 more weeks. But, yeah, I mean, I have to do ribeyes and or really slow cooked meat for her. Then I have to slice it really thin, like almost like roast beef slices.
Right.
And then I have to chop it up in really small pieces so that she can eat it, or else she just can't stomach it. She can't get it down. It's too hard to eat with her teeth and everything.
I got it. Went from 547 to 254, and she's already steadily gained girth.
Yeah.
It's awesome. 547 to 254.
Oh wow.
It's awesome.
Sorry, I was reading that text real quick because I was trying to see. I thought it might have been Lindy. 547 pounds to 254. That's awesome.
It's awesome.
That is incredible. That is fantastic.
Yeah, 2 years. That's great.
She has steadily gained girth. I love it. Oh, that's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny, right? When you're getting healthier and she's following her own drug habits and getting less healthy. That's pretty incredible.
Going to criticize what you're doing. It's making you feel great. With such a big improvement in 2 years' time. See, these doctors don't know what they're talking about.
For sure. For sure not. I spent years trying to add 5 servings of fruit veggies per day. I get disgusted and turn to the convenience junk food. Yeah, carnivore is super simple and savory. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, 110%. 110%. Very good. There she is.
There she is.
Right. Oh, no worries. I was wondering what happened to you. No worries. We'll see you next. We'll have to talk after this and make sure that the Sunday's still good for you. We know you're super busy right now, but we're covering for you. we're not doing a good job, but we're covering for you. There she goes. But yeah, I don't know. I was just going down all the things. I mean, it really is getting to be amazing how sustainable this really is, and what's really just been bringing it to the forefront of my brain lately is that people that, people in my realm here, my world, that I actually know in my real life out the door here have been seeing the massive change, and they've been asking me about it. And
hard to miss it. Yep.
And then they asked me, I wasn't ready for this, but they continually asked me, so what are you eating right now? And
right.
I realized after the first time of telling one or two of those people what I'm eating, and I see the white look come over their face, like, are you crazy? Like, is that seriously what it is? That I'm starting to try to figure out what to tell people, And what I kind of came up with is, you shouldn't be concerned with what I'm eating right now. You should be concerned with what I was eating when I started carnivore, because that's where you are. You're starting carnivore. So I say, let me tell you what I started eating when I started carnivore, what my first month looked like.
Right. That's the best way to tell somebody.
Yeah.
Because if they hear where you're at now, it's with all the eggs and all that stuff, they're going to say, oh my God, these guys nuts.
Right.
They don't understand where you were and where you're at now and why you're doing it.
No, they don't. Like, I mean, the truth of the matter is, the why is because I'm so free from any kind of food addiction or any of that that the taste or the type of food has
Right.
no pull on me anymore. So now the whole purpose is how I feel and what benefit to me it has, you know? So, and that doesn't go to say that I don't enjoy it. Like, yeah, I'm completely indifferent about the eggs. Like they don't taste bad, but they don't taste good. I certainly don't drink 3 glasses of 18 egg yolks a day because
No,
it's
right.
delicious.
Right.
But that also isn't terrible tasting, right? It's just
Why don't you put a little bit of hot sauce in there?
I might,
Spice
you know.
spice it a little bit, you know.
But I mean, it goes so quick. It literally
It's
takes.
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just like
okay.
I don't really care because it goes down in 3 seconds. You know.
It's just
So
like when I take my iodine nowadays, I just drop it in my mouth and it's gone.
right.
It's you get the taste for a few minutes. You take a sip of water and it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I'm having the same thing, and so I just do that. Like it's really just a thing. Like it wouldn't take any time at all if I didn't have to separate the yolks and the whites.
Right. Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. That's why I bought these 3 separators because I thought it was going to make it easier, and it didn't. It was but a joke. But it's just the easiest part.
Did you get them off of Temu?
No, I got them off of Amazon.
Like my smoker?
I think your smoker would work better than these egg separators for certain. You know, so it's really about just being optimal right now. But it wasn't when I started. When I started with taco meat, sour cream, and cheese, and eggs and bacon.
Yep.
You know,
that's what I'm doing right now too.
Right. And I mean, those were the things that I liked. But then as I started getting free from the cravings and this idea that I got to eat so much every day and all this stuff, and things started to level out and I started getting more fat in and my hormones started to balance, then I got to being more picky about, okay, what's the cheese doing for me? What's the sour cream doing for me? What's this taco seasoning doing for me?
You start eliminating stuff out of your list. Yep.
Yeah.
So I've done that.
Absolutely. And I mean, I love the taste of bacon, and it's not on my never again list by any means. But on a day to day, basically, I'm only eating 1 meal a day, and I'm only going to get about 1.5 to 2 pounds of meat in a day. And so when I'm eating that meal, I'm like, what makes me feel better? Yeah, right. And the beef makes me feel better. And I'll tell you what, after fasting for 7 days, it don't taste bad either.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Day 10 for me, so I can't wait to
10 days into a fast now? Yeah. And so, I mean, how restrictive is that hamburger or that steak that you're going to taste?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
There's been a few times, especially over this weekend, that I thought, oh man, eggs and meat sounds so good right now. Maybe I'll go have some and just give it. But
right.
I don't have nothing in the house, so I got to go shopping before I even.
My
fridge is empty.
Don't you feel like a little bit of that's just boredom?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The little thought would pop in your mind, and it's only there for a few minutes, and then it goes away.
Right. But, for sure.
Yeah. The first 3 days are the hardest on a fast for me. That's when you got the cravings. You got you want to eat something. You got the little bit of hunger pains, and it's just once you get going, you don't even think about it no more.
No, you don't.
It's actually freeing.
It is. It's super freeing. It's just you get bored because you're just kind of
I missed a taste. I missed a taste of something. I missed the chewing.
Right. Yeah, you just kind of get bored. You're like, man, I haven't done nothing, putting anything in my pie hole here for a week. Yeah. It gets boring, and that's really all it is because it's not hard anymore. It's just boring. The hardest part is just smelling food, seeing food, and it's not even a craving, but you're like, I miss not chewing on something. That's really just all it is.
Or if you're online and something pops up and you see something that might trigger a little bit of a oh, that looks so good,
For sure.
But, yeah.
Oh, let's see here. How can you get more fat into you? Would moisturizing with ghee help? Kind of want your opinion because even non-carnivores see skin improvements because of the fat going into the skin. I need more. So with tallow. As far as tallow moisturizing stuff, I don't personally use any skin stuff, but I do stick to a 2-to-1 fat to protein ratio, which seems to be right for me. And then I do that by adding tallow to all my beef. So I make like almost kind of like a pemmican with red meat, ground beef, and I'll do that, or I just cook my steaks in tallow, and I'll make a dip that I dip my steak in. That's tallow and Tabasco hot sauce dip. I'll make sure that I eat all the tallow, but I just get tallow in with my steaks, and then also the egg yolks have a good amount of fat in those as well.
What's going on here? I just went up on Amazon. I was going to pull up the picture. They don't have in stock the Wagyu beef tallow.
Really, it's out of stock now?
South Chicago. Yeah.
Oh wow! I don't know. I haven't run out yet. I still have a bucket of it.
Yeah, I still got one left. I was thinking about ordering some more, and it's not even showing.
Oh wow! There's another one on there that's in a white bucket. That's like $80 for a big white bucket of it.
Yeah, I see it.
That one's pretty good.
Corn husker. You tried that corn husker one?
I think so. Pull it up if you.
Yeah, I will.
If you pull it up and share the screen, I'll tell you if it's the one that I got.
Yeah, I will. Give me 1 second.
While you're doing that, I'll put Missy up. When people ask what I eat, sometimes I say whole foods, low carb, high protein. Yeah, that's smart, right? So that they don't look at you a little bit crazy. But yeah, I feel you there, Missy, because it's hard to get them. Like they just can't understand unless they're free and they feel the health that comes with it, you know. Nope, that's not the one, but that looks pretty good. No, but that looks good.
Yeah, this one's $29 for a pound and a half.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Yeah, that'd be a good one too. That'd be a good one too.
Let's see if there's another one.
Yeah. Todd, are you still doing iodine? You betcha. It's so annoying too because I'm going through this stuff like water, but when I go in to buy it, because of for whatever reason, iodine's regulated, and so they'll only sell me one bottle of iodine at a time. So I have to. Isn't that annoying?
Same. I know there's a limit. The FDA has a limit on how many they can ship out. You can do more orders in the same day, but they can only ship one at a time. I got an order coming now for my second bottle.
I know. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Yep.
I know. We have a place here that actually sells it on the shelf, you know? And so I go down there, but I have to run my credit card 6 times to get 6 bottles.
Oh, they even limit it in the store?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have
I buy mine right from them. Jake.
How much is it? How much is the bottle there? I'll see because I think
$22 free shipping.
It's only $24.99 there, so it's like an extra $3 to get it on the shelf. So it's like, yeah. But I got to run my credit card 6 times to get my 6 bottles of J-Crust. It's like, this is ridiculous. But how is it going is fantastic. I love that stuff. My iodine, I take 50 milligrams of it, and it's like I'm taking my coffee in the morning. My iodine is my coffee. I never miss it. I never miss it in the morning. That's the first thing my brain wants. And I feel so good. And I mean, I've been losing a lot of weight lately. I've been doing a lot of things, but the weight's been just dumping off me too. In the last, I don't know, probably 60 to 70 days. Pretty much since Texas, I'm down like 61 to 63 pounds now since Texas.
That's awesome.
And yeah, it's coming off. So, and I attribute a lot. I mean, I'm lifting, I'm moving a lot more. I'm getting more sun, just more movement. I just, more activity and stuff. So I'm sure that that's helping, but the energy and the stamina. And I also think that the iodine has made the fasting a heck of a lot easier as well, to be honest with you. Let's see here. I love poached eggs, but I cook in a dash steamer. My mom's got one of those, and do the whole egg and 3 yolks. It's a pain to separate. Yeah, I know. I hate separating them. But honestly, the easiest way I found to separate them is I have some stainless steel bowls, and I got this big round spoon that's a metal round flat spoon, like it sits almost like a ladle kind of. And I just crack all 18 eggs into that, to a bowl about this big stainless steel one. And I scoop the egg yolks up, and I just pick them up with the spoon. And I shake it a couple times. And that's the easiest way, is just to scoop 18 of them out of the float. And sometimes you break one and whatever, and you got to throw another one in there. A few casualties of war. But that's the fastest way I've figured out how to do it. These egg separators just don't work, but that spoon works just fine. Whoops. Half carb and an egg yolk would 30 to 50 be too much? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I know that there's half carb to a third of a carb depending on what egg yolk you get. But when it's that high in fat compared to that little bit of carbohydrates, like if you've ever watched the CGMs and the people, I love what Raymond at the Steak and Butter Gang says. He goes, we're not on a no carb diet. We are on a whole food animal based carnivore diet.
Right.
And if nature sees fit to put some carbohydrates
in there, right?
Yeah, then whatever.
You're eating the best carbs. You're eating the natural carbs.
Right. And if you watch the CGM guys, like there's a bunch of CGM channels on like TikTok and YouTube and stuff where they wear CGMs, they try certain foods, they try certain combinations of food, and then they see the result that it has on a blood sugar spike, because ultimately the more your blood sugar spikes, the more of a glucose response you're going to have, or the insulin response you're going to have to the glucose. So what they do is they find that if the order of food that you eat also matters. Now, this isn't me giving anybody the green light to go eat sugar if they eat fat and protein first. But if you eat fat and protein before you eat carbohydrates, or if the fat and protein highly outweighs the number of carbohydrates, it pretty much neutralizes or cuts in half the effect of the carbohydrates. Now, that doesn't mean that you're still not going to get triggered into your sugar addictions, like if you fight that sort of thing in your carb addictions. But I don't ever have an issue with it. The only reason why I limit the eggs to 18 yolks at a time is actually because of the protein. I don't want to get too much protein, because if I get over about 70 grams of protein in a meal, I do have a little bit of gluconeogenesis and I will have an insulin spike and I will get sleepy. So that's why I strive to keep everything under 70 grams of protein per meal in a 2-hour window. And I feel better if I do that. However, I will say this, I've been lifting and more active. And so if I do take down, like yesterday is a good example. I was hungry yesterday, more hungry than I've been in a while, actually. And I think it's because, well, I've done 3 7-day fast rolling alternates in a row now. So, and I think I kind of underate in between the reprimes. And so I was pretty hungry yesterday, and I ate about, I don't know, I bet I ate 140 or 150 grams of protein in one setting, and I knew it and my body wanted it. So I'm like, fine. But after I ate it, I went and I got on the exercise bike, and I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and run a little bit of this off, because I know that if you do a little bit of exercise and you get a little bit of blood flowing while you eat,
active,
it'll burn up the glucose as fast as it's making it. So that worked because I did not get sleepy. And that's really all. I really don't even care if I have a well, I mean, I do and I don't, because it does slow things down. But the worst part of a gluconeogenesis spike is falling asleep. I used to go into a coma after I would eat. And if I keep it under 70 grams of protein, I do not do that anymore. So that's the biggest reason I go there. What we got here? 1 year carnivore, 7/27/24. Awesome. That's great. Loving the egg yolks, but gently fried. There you go. I separate them in my fingers and recycle the whites and shells back to the hens. Their food is soaked in hot water overnight. Oh, that's awesome. Do you find that the hens, we stopped feeding the hens the egg whites and shells back because some of them started almost getting a taste for it and going cannibal and started, eating their own eggs as they would. So we kept finding more and more broken eggs, like they were mistaking it. So I wonder if that's why we kind of shy away from that. Hey, here's Charlie and Marilyn. Hey, Don Michael. The screen is less attractive when Lindy is absent.
I know.
That is a fact.
We need our eye candy.
We do. We need our eye candy back for sure. Should I see you and hear you both? You're very encouraging. Thanks for sharing your journey. Big thumbs up to you. Thank you so much, Charlie. We appreciate you and Marilyn so much. Always praying for
Always
you.
being here. Yep.
Absolutely. MJ, how do you store your big bucket of tallow? I leave it on the counter.
You leave yours out. I keep mine in the fridge.
Yeah, I leave it out because I like it soft, just like butter. And I mean, I leave it out for months and it never goes bad. Do scoop out some for a while. I need to order my first iodine. Yeah, I scoop it out. I just have a scooper in it, and I scoop it out when I need it. And I literally I'll take a scale. I'll run down this for fun. So I believe in these aren't hard fast rules, right? These are just benchmarks to start with to give you a place to kind of see if you feel good or not. But I believe in the about 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of lean body mass, and then I believe in a 2-to-1 fat protein ratio. So I want, for every 1 gram of protein I'm getting, I want to get 2 grams of fat, basically. But most of the protein has some fat in it. So you just get I use a Lose It app, and you look at how much protein is in so many ounces of meat, and I weigh that out. And you don't have to do this every time, but once, because I don't eat that many things, so I train my eye pretty good at what the ratio actually looks like in reality on a plate. But I just measure it out. I figure out how much fat is in an ounce of red meat that I'm eating, how much protein is in there, and then whatever I'm missing, I substitute with tallow, and I put that in a side bowl. But I weigh that all out on a scale, and I put that in a side bowl, and I mix a little bit of Tabasco sauce in it, and I make a hot sauce out of it. And I'll put some Malden finishing salt on top to give it a little crunch. And I put it back in the fridge, and I let it harden up. And then, after I make it so it's not runny and greasy, because I want it cold, because the steak's going to be hot when I dip it into it. And then I'll take a knife and put it on each piece and eat it, or just dip it right into it. And I'll make sure I eat all that tallow. But I leave the bucket out on the counter so that when I do scoop it, it's real soft, and I can mix the hot sauce into it real quick. Then I put it back in the refrigerator to let it harden while my steak's cooking.
I don't do none of that. Too much work. I put my tallow on my eggs in the morning in breakfast with my eggs and beef, and a little hot sauce on top, and that's it.
For sure.
Measure. I just eyeball it and go from there. If I want a little bit more, I put a little bit more on it.
Oh, does Dante eat a ton of the Chicago brand? That's funny.
I'm surprised it's out. I'm glad I still got. Well, I bought 2 last time. I figured I'd stock up with summer. I didn't want it to melt, and I'm in the second one now, and they don't have it. So
that's crazy, and it sucks when I don't like changing brands of tallow because they all taste a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, and I like this brand. Yeah.
Yep, me too. L&M Butchery in Andrews, Texas sells rendered suet tallow as much better price, but have to pay shipping. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Definitely give that a try.
Butchery.
Hi, Susan. Thanks for coming. All right, what do we got here? How many ounces is your iodine? Mine comes in a 2-pack. Oh, let me look. I've never.
1 ounce. Our bottles are 1 ounce.
Yeah. Yep, that is correct.
And ours are 5%.
Yep. And I take 20 drops of the 5%, which is basically 1 full dropper.
That's what I do. I just
drop
it in my mouth. Yep.
Ooh, I might have to try this trick. Slotted spoon. I will definitely try that for sure. I am not having any luck. Doc Nelson at the Carnivore Cure. Did you get my partnership for unhealthy? Yeah, that thing is awesome. I got to share that. That was awesome. I read through and I was like, that is absolutely accurate. That is the blueprint for what has happened to us for sure, Doc Nelson. Ask MJ how he heard of Carnivore.
How you heard about it. All right. So, MJ, tell us how you found Carnivore.
Do tell. We are very interested for sure. Carnivore Stroke. I think he knows something cheeky. Or she. Let's see. There we go. I find 230 to 280 grams of protein, 50 to 70 grams of fat, and maybe 3 to 9 incidental carbs a day over 2 to 3 meals. Absolutely. Does just fine, right? You know? Like, I anticipate that I'm going to have quite an appetite this winter because I haven't had much of an appetite this summer, you know? Tell me if the seasons tell me if the seasons affect your guys' appetite and what you intake as well, because they sure do for me.
It does for me.
Yeah,
Wintertime, I'm more hungry.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough.
You know, I mean, maybe I don't actually get that. I actually get stalled, Matt, when I eat more protein because I have gluconeogenesis issues without the fat. So I really think it depends on to your degree of being insulin resistant. I think the more insulin resistant you are, the more hormone and mitochondrial support you need. And I think you actually need more fat because I was under eating fat for a long time and I was retaining weight like crazy. And then I started eating high fat, doubled my fat intake. And that's when I broke through a huge plateau and started feeling a lot better. So it's kind of interesting. And when I was talking to Tony Hampton, he goes, yeah, it seems to be true that people
Doctor.
Dr. Tony Hampton. Sorry, we're tight like that. Not at all. But I was talking to him and he said that I'm likely just very, very insulin resistant, and that's why I need even higher fat than normal. So
Kimberly, I just did a search again and it's showing I clicked it from my order. They must have switched how they were doing it. So the one that I bought before wasn't there.
Oh, okay.
But from doing a search, you find it.
Oh, nice. You had everybody worried.
Yeah, I know. I was really worried. I want to get some more.
There you go. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, more hungry in fall and winter. Yeah, me too. That seems to be like a given. The liver can hold 100 grams of glucose, which is from protein since we are carnivore. I wonder if being insulin resistant then, or being more sensitive to gluconeogenesis, I wonder if that has anything to do with maybe how your liver is functioning then, like how much it can hold or whatever, because something is an issue with me,
There's his follow-up.
Muscle can hold up to 300 grams of glucose for energy. Agreed. But, how does it get to the muscle? How does it get to the liver? If it's through the blood and it causes a glucose spike in the blood, which causes in turn an insulin response, which in return puts this guy into a coma. That's what happens when that happens for sure. Let's see here. Not for me. I think it might be more hungry in the summer because I'm super active. Oh, that makes sense. I mean, and that's a direct cause and effect type of thing too, So definitely. The heat, man, the heat in the summer just shuts it down for me though. If you're
20 drops of 5% glucose.
No, we're not getting 125 milligrams. We are getting 50 milligrams. 20 drops of 2% is not 50 milligrams. 20 drops of 2% is 40% of that. So yeah, it's like 20 milligrams. 2% is 1 milligram per drop. First of all, what you need to know is that if you're not using the same brand as us, they have different, because I have a different one. I was using one. I don't have the bottle anymore, but I had a different iodine that I was using that was 2%, that was less than J. Crow's or Cruise or whatever. Crow's. But the 2% is 1 milligram per drop, where the 5% is actually 2.5 milligrams per drop. And I got this not only from looking it up online, but I also got this from Dr. Phil from the SBG gang. he confirmed that. And because he looked up the same thing and he's like, yeah. And he goes, I know you would think it would just be double, but he said it's not because the dropper on the 5% is bigger and they actually do that for that ratio. So it is 20 droplets is 50 milligrams of 5% for, as far as I know, and that comes from 2 sources. And 20 drops of 2% is supposed to be 20 milligrams.
And I'm up on their website right now. And here, give me 1 second here. And they got it broken down. Let me pull this up. And you can see. Oh, these pop-ups. There you go.
Yeah, so for 2% solution, each drop 120 milligram is approximately 1 milligram. Yeah, 1 milligram of iodine. So 20 drops of 2% is 20 milligrams. And then let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Where's 5%? For each drop, yeah, it's 2.5 milligrams. Yep. So 20 drops of 5% is 50 milligrams because 10 drops is 25 milligrams. So yeah, because it's 2.5 per drop. So yeah, the 5% is 2.5 milligrams per drop and the 2% is 1 milligram per drop. So this doesn't happen often, folks, but this one time
That's right.
that was correct. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that as a win.
Get them when you can, man.
For sure. Years of studying homesteading channels led me to health channels. I tried raw vegan, but found I needed to shop each day. Yep. Or get bulk, and I risk everything going old in the fridge. Yep. Man, I know that journey. Carnivore only freezer. Absolutely.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. That is awesome. Yeah, I know. I made a video a while back about how one of the reasons I went from keto to carnivore was because I was tired of my lettuce turning to brown sludge in like a week.
Throwing it out, wasting money.
Yep. Yeah, like so annoying. We need insulin, moderate level spike, okay, but not chronic high level constant. Yeah, for sure. And I think what happens, this is one of the reasons, Matt, that I'm doing alternate week 7-day fast. People think I'm doing it to lose weight. I could care less. The weight's coming off on its own when it needs to. But I'm actually doing it because I'm such a fan of Dr. Jason Fung, and I really am a believer in the fasted insulin set point. I think when we become insulin resistant, which I think I have been since an infant because I was so big so soon, and we have an epidemic of insulin resistant infants now in the United States because of the mother's transfer of glucose to the infant, making them deal with massive spikes of insulin as just a baby. I think that's what happened to me. And Dr. Jason Fung said one of the only ways to lower the oh, you son of a bitch. Every time. I don't know who that is. Some lost kid. Michael's abducted children.
Look at those eyes and that smile still there. Just the only thing that's missing is the hair.
Exactly. I hated the curls back then, but I would take them back now since it's getting a little bit sunburned up here. But I think that as insulin resistant, and what Jason Fung says is the only way to actually lower the fasted insulin set point is a lot of fasting. You got to have a lot of days in a fasted state, and that's why I really like the 7+ day fast if I'm going to do a fast, because let's say you do rolling 24-hour fast or rolling 48-hour fast, like you eat once a day or you eat it once every other day. And this is just my opinion. I have nothing to go off of here. There's a lot of people that argue with me that you could do damage to your metabolism and all sorts of stuff. And they could absolutely be right. So do not listen to me because this is just my opinion on it. But just through the scope of getting more days in, more hours in quickly in a fasted state to lower my fasted insulin set point. It takes about 13 hours from the last time you ate to get into a fasted state, to a truly fasted state. So if you eat once a day, you're only fasting 11 hours a day. You know, if you eat once every 2 days, you're fasting, 11 plus 24, so 30, it's 35 hours in that period. But if you fast for 7 days, you break that down where you're just taking that and you're getting maximum amount of fasting, in that 7 days, because you're only wasting about 11 hours of it. So you're actually out of 168 hours, you're actually like 155, 155 of that is pure fast, So, because you don't do the start stop thing because of that 13-hour spot. So that's what I've been doing. And I quite enjoy it. And I do think it's fixing some of the insulin resistance, and it's definitely fixing a lot of, the lymphedema problems, the impacted lymph system problems. I'm not gaining on my feeding days when I'm eating in the 7-day window. I'm not gaining as much fluid back as I used to. I've been watching that roller coaster, and the the upswing on the fluid gain is come way down. Well, and my calves have come way down too. It's crazy. Let's see. I don't know if I eat more in the winter. I just started carnivore in March. I started keto on December 20th. That's awesome. Definitely touch in with us and let us know how everything's going. Sherry. Hi, Todd Michael. Great to see you. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Sherry. Yep.
Love cooking frozen meat in the air fryer. That's awesome.
Oh, look at Todd's. Todd's getting red.
There's a tear that just fell down my cheek for that innocent meat that didn't hurt nobody. Hey, Becky. Hello from Florida. I will be seeing people. I'll be in your neck of the woods next November for Hack Your Health in Florida next year. Oh, Sherry, do not fill Michael's head full of encouragement at all. He is an assassin with the pictures. Hey, Josephine. Oh, good Lord. She saw it too. Michael, you see what you're doing? You see what you're doing to these poor people? I'm in my second week of priming an SPG. I know, Sherry. I saw that, and you're doing fantastic. And Sherry, what do you think of the priming? Are you feeling good? For anybody, Sherry has gastroparesis. That's she's healing up, and I think she's doing a lot better on it. Tell MJ he doesn't need to fast for many months. He needs to reverse his malnutrition. Oh, absolutely. Like I didn't fast. I didn't fast at all. Well, that's not true. So I screwed up before I found the steak and butter gaming and priming. And I did OMADs for the first 9 months. I lost weight. Everybody loses weight when you first get on carnivore because you lose fluid and inflammation and all this stuff. Then I was losing some fat as well, and I was doing good. But then on month 7, my metabolism crashed because I was massively under eating. And then I white knuckles, stubborn headed it for another, till the 9-month mark, from 7.5 to 9 months. And then I found SPG and found out that the actual problem why things weren't moving and why I wasn't losing weight and why I felt so bad and was tired and moody and everything else was because I was under eating so much. So then I flipped that around and I did priming for 6.5 months, where for almost 6.5 months, I ate almost 7 pounds of meat a day. And Michael has the evidence.
I got all the pictures.
He does. I was an absolute machine. I was a cow's worst enemy. I had struck fear in the in the beef industry for sure. There was no beef that was safe. But I had to do that for 6.5 months. And then after that fixed my metabolism. I got nourished. My hormones balanced. Everything started healing up so much better.
There's one of his meals.
Yeah, that was just one. Oh, man. Yeah. So then after that, and I had to take several tries, and it still took me another 3 months to get to where I could fast correctly, even after that, because my body was starving. And then, sure enough, everything started healing up when I started feeding it the nutrition. So yeah, you definitely don't go from just starting at first. It takes you honestly, you could prime for 6 months to a year and be just fine and just healing your body and filling, as long as it keeps you carnivore, your body will start getting its hormone signals back and it'll start regulating you. You don't really have to worry about any of that. At a certain point, if you want to get extra lean and do some things, then you can start tightening it down and be a little bit more particular about tracking. But when you're first doing it, getting through the carb cravings and all the bad habits that we've all had for so long, you just eat. The answer is always going to be to eat and eat a lot of carnivore food. The cleanest and fattiest carnivore foods you can at first is eat. Andrews Texas Butchery is flying.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I went up there. I was looking.
There we go. Perfect. But yeah, so definitely you want to do, priming is what we call it. It's the term we use, but it's just nourishing your body. It's just opening up your appetite because we've all been malnourished. I don't care how much food or how much weight you have. You're malnourished because you weren't eating nutrients. You were eating junk like we all were. We're eating empty sugar and processed garbage that, the food companies, peddled us and had us believing that was food, and it wasn't. It didn't have protein in it. It didn't have fat in it. It didn't have, amino acids, electrolytes. It didn't have any of the stuff that we really need, Yep. So you definitely have to concentrate on that and put, the weight will come, being lean will come, healing up.
That feeling better will come.
Yeah.
Yep. This changes in your skin. I don't have dry skin on my elbows no more, on my hands. It's amazing what eating the right food does for you.
100%.
Depression gone, blood pressure's in check.
Yeah, and I don't talk about this a whole lot because the name of our show here is 700 plus and counting carnivore diet transformations, right? And that's because we all started at over 700 pounds. And this is what I've been going through a lot and thinking about a lot, just like our topic today is carnivore. Is carnivore diet restricting or freeing? And for me, it's absolutely freeing, but I see how, to me, 20 months ago, it would have been restrictive, right? Like it would have been, I couldn't even fathom it. I was such a sugar addict and such a soda addict and was so sick and had so much depression and anxiety. Like there was just no way, that food was my only, that sugar fix and that dopamine hit was my only escape from misery, it seemed like, even though it was exactly what was keeping us in misery. But I couldn't see past that. I don't think most people can until you really try this, and you have to do it at your pace because you kind of have to, it has to be achievable. It has to be, you have to barter with yourself to get there. So you got to eat whatever, like dairy's a really good one at first. Dairy, something that most carnivores end up cutting out because they find that it causes them to eat more unnaturally. It's fine to eat unless you're eating something that's making your diet go up, your appetite go up, and then you're kind of artificially, because you're not getting the right hormone signals. And there's something about dairy. I think Charlie would always say that, dairy, cow milk is built to take a little calf to be a 400-pound steer,
Yes.
And so there's something that goes on with dairy that causes us to open up our appetite and eat more, and it causes us to put on weight. However, when you're starting carnivore and you're a crackhead carb addict, there's nothing wrong with opening up your appetite and eating dairy that makes you want to eat more beef and fat and butter and those things. Go ahead and do it at first. Just know that you might want to start tapering down that too. But if that gets you through it and it's hyper palatable, and it's at least it's better that you eat that than sugar, right? Or pizza or whatever, So that's a good point. But on that same line of thinking about, I couldn't have told myself 20 months ago that I was gonna eat like this and be okay with it. I couldn't even fathom it. One thing that it's done for me is it's made me, it's given me enough of my health and life back that, unlike before, if you were to tell me that I needed to work out and lift weights to lose weight, I would have been like, I can't stand up for more than 90 seconds at a time. I can't make it to the bathroom more than once a day.
You don't want to get up.
No,
you're
like,
in pain.
Yeah, I'm like, my legs weigh 1,000,000 pounds. Everything hurts. I can't breathe. Like, you're out of your mind. And then just 20 minutes later, Carnivore gave me so much energy that I got to build the gym. Right. And now I get to work out and I look forward to it. And I wake up with so much energy and health that I look forward to going and working out in the morning. And I'm not, and now, but I realize that, I would, what I'm doing now, the me that I am now, and the things that I'm able to do now, I would have never, if I would have saw, this is why I don't put videos of me working out in there, or I don't talk about it that much, is because if I would have saw a video of me doing that 20 months ago and losing 300 pounds, I would have went, I would have just clicked by me. I wouldn't even stopped because it wasn't an option. I would have just assumed that I lost 300 pounds by lifting weights, which the me 20 months ago couldn't have done. So I don't know, it's kind of a crazy thing, but I'm torn. I'm torn because I can't tell people about what I eat right now without worrying them, and I'm torn because I can't tell people about what I'm working out right now because also they can't see it. It's so weird. I have to remember that I'm talking to me 20 months ago. Right. They can't see it from where they're at. They don't believe that they can get here, but there is a message here because if I can get here, absolutely anybody can get here. I was most of lost cause, and the same was Michael and Lindy,
Never would I have thought that this would have done what it has in such a short time. I lost 140 some pounds in 6 months.
Right.
Last year when I started. Once it started kicking in, boom, the weight just started coming off.
Yep.
And then, you're going to hit plateaus. Your body's going to slow down because it doesn't understand what you're trying to do. And that's, it happens. It happened to Todd. It happened to Lindy. And it's happening to me now.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
You can change.
Yeah. And so everybody knows, Lindy's been doing this a year longer than me, and I've been doing it 6 or 8 months longer than you, Michael. Yeah.
You started in January. I started in July, so 7 months.
Yeah. So you kind of see, you're kind of getting to see this cutaway of timeline for us. It's kind of interesting. I waited over 6 months to start. Appetite opened up, and the second week I got hungry. I'm eating more food. I've overate 3 times, but it's okay. Getting uncomfortable from overeating helped me learn. That's awesome. Congratulations, Sherry. That's really good news. Just ordered my iodine and the folk medicine book. Thanks for the plug. I'm preparing for a 700-pound group home for only carnivore area global. Oh, that's awesome. Would love to see your
Asa Global.
Check it out. That's pretty awesome, though. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Emmeline. I sure appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Todd, tell MJ about your solution. Yeah. So at the beginning, I was such a sugar addict that, I don't know about you guys, but I would wake up in the morning and, I was so sick back then that I'd wake up and all the cortisol would hit me in the morning. As soon as my eyes opened and I was alive and awake, just all the misery would hit you at once and all the cortisol would hit you. And I'd think about another day, because it gets stuck in our head because we've all done so many calorie restrictive diets in the past, and all the calorie restrictive diets all have the same thing in common. We all know in the core of our being that they're not really sustainable for long periods of time. Maybe, like, I mean, real term, long terms of time, like sustainable for 10 years, life, whatever. We've all done them for 2 years and 3 years or a year or 2 years, whatever. We've done a bunch of them. I could stand on my head for 18 months at a time. I pretty much didn't eat. I've lost 300 pounds twice in my life before and 200 pounds twice in my life before. And I pretty much always did it by just starving. The last time that I lost 300 pounds, I just didn't eat.
And white knuckle starving too.
Yeah, white knuckle starving, miserable.
Always thinking about food, and yeah, it sucked.
Right. And we all did that. And so that comes back to you because when when I first started carnivore, it was just another diet to me. It was just something to try. I'd heard all the stuff, but until you experience, you just don't know. And so I was looking at carnivore. It was a Hail Mary. It was the last thing I haven't tried. It was my last chance, really, or else I was going to die, it looked like. And so I would wake up every day and I had it in my head that it was the same as all the other calorie restrictive diets, meaning that what they always had in common is that they needed to work quickly because I didn't know how long I could take it anymore because it was going to be white knuckled. So I was always dreading it because, when you're first starting out, you're so at the bottom and it's such a long walk out of this, this hell that you're in that you don't know, you're full of doubt. You don't know if you can make it. You don't know how long you can do it. So all the cortisol hits you, all the anxiety hits you in the morning. And I would always, pretty much as soon as I was waking up, I would want to order junk food. I would want pizza and just whatever every time.
Because the last thing you want to do is get up and cook.
Right. Well, exactly. And when that happens too, when you're feeling all that stress, you have no energy, everything seems insurmountable. Just moving seems insurmountable. It's so heavy, and so that was happening every morning. And so usually by 10 or 11 o'clock, I had get caved in and I had ordered a ridiculous, and the mind games we play with our old addict self is just really crazy, right? Because I would go, okay, well, I would make an excuse up. My brain we'd just start fighting. This when I, looking back on it now, I can see what an addict I was for sure. And I think we all can relate to this. But I would sit there and go, all right, well, I don't have enough stuff ready. I'd have to, I can't get to the kitchen to clean a pan. The pan's not ready. Oh, I forgot and I didn't take the meat out of the freezer, so it's frozen. I don't have anything to cook it in, blah, 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 blah. I'd come up with a reason. I'd say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order DoorDash today, but I'll get the meat out of the freezer and clean the pan today so that tomorrow I can start. Okay, so that's all that took was this little seed to do that. And then I would say, okay, I'm going to do that. But if today I'm going to order DoorDash, I was having all these cravings for all these different foods. I should probably order all of them and eat all of them.
Right,
so that
you're going to start.
Yeah, because I'm going to start tomorrow.
I've done it too. I know.
Yeah. So I should get
one last hurrah. Yeah.
Right. So I should get all the crap to have one last hurrah, get it out of my system, because God knows that's how you get a drug out of your system, is to have all of it in a large quantity.
You can do.
Right. And so I would sit here and go, all right, I'm going to have one last hurrah. I'm going to get everything. So I would make this just stupid DoorDash order, right? It'd be like pizza and, 3 different blizzards from Wendy's or a Dairy Queen or whatever. I mean, it'd just be stupid. And all the sodas that I wanted to drink and appetizer, just crap. I'd spend $120 on DoorDash crap. And it was all because I was really panicking and thinking I was never going to have all this stuff again. And I would eat probably not even 20% of it, to be quite honest, because I ordered so much crap. It makes you so sick. And I was already so sick that it was just stupid. But one thing that would happen is you would get terribly depressed after doing that, because you knew that you had lied to yourself again and it came through.
You gave in.
Yep. And so what would happen? I wouldn't wash that pan. I wouldn't take the meat out of the freezer because I couldn't hardly move. I was just wanted to die, So it got you again, it would happen again and it got you. So anyhow, that's the long way around to say this. That had happened so many times that I just knew that my problem was insulin resistance and that I didn't have leptin sensitivity, and leptin sensitivity is your appetite control. But I knew from being a fat guy and overeating all the time that the reason why we eat until we are stuffed is because our stomach lining has stretch mark sensors that shut off your appetite, because your body has a limit switch basically that will keep you from hopefully blowing up your stomach, So my plan, therefore, was to eat carnivore foods until I stretched out. Like if I was having a bad craving and I was about to break down because this cortisol was making me crave pizza and all this junk, I made myself a deal, which worked fantastically. It was just a blessing from God that this came to me. And I really do think it was God that told me to do it, put it in my spirit, because I made a deal with myself and I'm like, look, all right, when I wake up like that, I can have it, whatever I want, but I have to earn it. And by earning it, I have to make a deal with myself, and I have to keep this one thing, which is I have to eat bacon. I have to go cook bacon and eggs. And I did pick bacon and eggs because they're good and they're quick, right? It doesn't take a long time to cook eggs and bacon. Nope. You can cook them in 10 minutes. It takes one pan. You can do them in the same pan. You can get it done in 10 minutes. You mix it up, and and it has a lot of fat in it. And I would chop up the bacon. I'd chop up a whole pound of bacon and cut all of the strips into little square chunks. I'd throw it in the pan, fry it up, and then start throwing eggs in the grease. Yep. Just mix it up, And I could do it all in one pan. I had one pan. It was really easy. It'd take 10 minutes. It could be ready that fast. It didn't cost, and you could eat it right out of the pan. So I made a deal with myself that I had to eat bacon and eggs until I was stuffed, literally couldn't fit any more in. And then if I did that and waited an hour and I was still in this humongous panic mode for pizza and all this stuff, I could order whatever I wanted. And
magically, what happened?
It worked. It worked. I never broke that rule. I always did that every time. And not only that, but something really cool that happened that I didn't even understand was happening at the time until I listened to, I think it was Kelly Hogan talked about it. It might have been Laura Spath. Kelly Hogan or Laura Spath, one of the two talked about it. But there's a process that the brain goes through that creates new neurons, that creates habits and addictions, called the anticipatory dopamine fix. And when I read about this, because this was happening to me, because I would start I would want pizza and ice cream and cheesecake and sodas and all this stuff, and I'd be having this anxiety freak out and everything was going crazy. I would go eat the bacon and eggs. It didn't taste like what I wanted, but it would shut off the signal. An hour later, I'd come to my senses. I could make it another day. I could fight to another meal. It was always worse in the morning when I'd wake up. And then pretty soon what happened is not very long, like 8 days into it, I woke up one day, I started panicking, freaking out. And instead of wanting a pizza, I wanted bacon and eggs. I was like, holy crap. That had flipped. And see, the whole time it was sustainable, because that first 8 days I was going in there and I was excited and my brain felt good, because I was like, all I got to do is eat this bacon and eggs, and then guilt-free, I can order DoorDash and eat a bunch of junk.
Right.
So I was getting happy by the idea that I was going to go through this arbitrary process that didn't matter and eat this bacon and eggs. But then I was going to get a get out of jail free card, because in my mind, somehow I talked myself into, if I just did this, I was keeping my word and I wasn't tricking myself, and I could go get the junk food, but I was going to be scot-free. I wouldn't have to feel guilty about it this time. So I did that. But every time it would shut my hunger off, which would give me the power to not eat it and be in a better frame of mind. But it sure didn't stop it. Every time that I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, well, I don't have to even fight myself. All I have to do is go eat the bacon and eggs. Then I can order the pizza. And I would tell myself that every day. That would immediately make me happy. I would actually go have a little pep in my step, cooking my bacon and eggs and eating it. And then that would give me some power back. And then I would stop doing it until one day I was still wanting food and I was still having this response, but the target changed. It wasn't for pizza anymore. It was for bacon and eggs. And what the anticipatory and dopamine effect said was that And this I knew was true because I did this 100 times. Everybody that's ever been addicted to sugar and bullcrap food, have you ever been like this? Used to happen to me all the time. I'd be at the office working, and I'm hungry and I'm looking forward to going to town to get pizza. It was always pizza. And as soon as 5:30 or 6 would hit, I would get out of there. And as soon as I was in my car heading to go to town to get the pizza, I already was happy. I didn't have to eat it or anything. Just on my way driving there was making me happy because the wait was over. I was on my way to the pizza. And that's what an anticipatory and dopamine fix is. It doesn't even have to be the thing. It just has to be like the full surrendering to the thing that helps get that dopamine kick, which is all your brain really wants. That's why we're all drug addicts on this stuff. And that was pushing me through it. So I don't know. It was really interesting. Well, once I heard that, because I realized that I was using an anticipatory dopamine system to trick myself into eating bacon and eggs, to switch off my appetite by hitting the stretch markers in my stomach. But in the meantime, I had changed my craving because I was now relating bacon and eggs to a dopamine fix. And so all of a sudden I started craving bacon and eggs. And I'll be danged, when that changed, this fight was downhill after that. It worked fantastically. So for what it was worth, that worked very well. Let's see. I know I missed some stuff. Where was I? Oh, there we go. So here's the next one. American put there in. Okay. There we go. She put it in the email there. I do look different even though I have more healing to do. It's amazing how many changes. Yeah, right. And Sherry, that's what's really awesome too, right? This is another thing that has changed about my way of thinking from the old diet. See, the old calorie restrictive diets that weren't sustainable, we needed to see all these big things or we just weren't going to do it because, I always said those calorie restrictive diets are like saying, hey, you got to hold your breath, and it's like, how long can you hold your breath? And that's what it always felt like to me, like you're on the edge of a building holding on with the nails of your fingernails, and you know that it's going to fall.
And if you want to see changes, there's Todd right before he started. Yeah, and now look at him today.
Crazy, huh?
And what are you, 18 months later?
I just I'm actually 19 and a half months. I'm in my 20th
19
month
and a half.
Now. Yeah, but that me was on oxygen. I was stuck in that chair I was sitting in. I was 720 plus pounds-ish, 15 to 20 pounds-ish. I don't really know because I had to do math backwards. I had to lose weight for 4.5 months before I could get on a scale. And then I took the weight that I lost in the next 4 months and I did math backwards and it put me at between 715, 720 pounds. But I was on oxygen. And even with that 6 liters of oxygen a day, all day long, I only had an oxygen saturation of 88%. I had my pulse when I'm sitting there, my rested pulse was 107 beats a minute. And I couldn't stand up for more than 90 seconds at a time. My biggest deal in life was trying to get to the bathroom once a day because it was just prison, right? It was terrible. And, now I'm getting up early before work a lot of times to go lift weights and use the rebounder and do sprints on the exercise bike.
And do you think that guy up on the screen right now thought that he'd be working out 18 months later? Hell no.
Not a chance. Not a chance. And my oxygen saturation I'm off the oxygen. I'm off my CPAP. I'm off all the medication. My oxygen saturation is at 97% now with no oxygen, highest it's ever been. My resting pulse now, the other day, I was surprised because I've been taking it, but my resting pulse was 62 beats a minute, the lowest I've ever seen it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, which is crazy for me, And no, the anxiety's gone, the depression's gone, all that crap, that stuff that was just tormenting is completely gone. And it hasn't even been 2 years, right? Nope. And so, just like you say, I these things are so good, looking different, feeling amazing. You don't have to have it all at once because you know what? This 2 years was going to go by whether I did carnivore or not. I was going to be right. I was going to be here at this time.
Todd, You wouldn't be here today if you
No.
didn't do what you did.
Exactly.
None of us would be.
I don't think I would have lived. I honestly don't. But even if I
You didn't want to live. You didn't want to. We didn't want to live anymore.
no, for sure. But let's back up to 10 years ago, right? I put off all these things because I always said I needed I needed a diet that where I was going to lose 200 pounds in a year, and I was going to look, muscular and all this stuff. Like I had all these conditions. And if there wasn't a diet that did that, then it wasn't worth doing. Well, what we're really saying is I can only white knuckle this calorie restrictive starvation and be miserable, depressed, and want to shoot myself. I can only handle that for about a year at a time. So I knew that I couldn't. So it wasn't worth doing it in my head unless I could do this thing. But the reality of it is, this time is going to go by anyhow. And you're either going to descend further into the depths of this pit that we're in, or you're going to get better, right? Or you're going to work and start climbing your way out. It's a direction, just Jordan Peterson says that all the time. He said, you can pretty much have whatever you want in 5 years, but you have to know what it is you want. And then you have to aim at it every day. Like you have to turn your direction around. You got to start climbing out of the hole. And and this is why carnivore is so powerful, in my opinion, is because we all have to climb out of the hole. But we were told a lie that was, we're supposed to moderate something that's 8 times more addictive than heroin. And we're supposed to calorie restrict our body when our body hasn't had proper nutrients in millennia, and it's screaming day and night for real food because we've been keeping it from red meat and animal fats that it needs so badly and feeding it all this empty junk. And so that is why we could never make a plan that was that far in the future. Like it always had to be 6 months, a year, like these unrealistic things. But it was because we all knew down deep that none of us were going to starve ourselves and moderate heroin for a long period of time. Like we just weren't going to do it. It wasn't like it's not most of us are not capable of doing that, So anyhow, carnivore is so powerful because it calms you down and it takes away the clock. You don't have to do everything tomorrow. It's going to come when it comes, but you heal up so quick that you can start putting consistent days together because it heals your hormones. It heals the anxiety and the depression. And so, yeah, I mean, look at Lindy, down 500 pounds in just under 3 years now. I mean, incredible.
Look at it change. She's a completely different person.
Yeah, well, she is a completely different person.
Oh, she is, yeah. She's got her life back. She's out and about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. So crazy. But, the carnivore, it pays us back. And so it takes away that anxiety and it takes away that white knuckle. It gives you that off switch, which gives you time. And you no longer think about this as a destination. It's just a direction. And now you're just climbing out of the hole. You were digging into the hole. Now you can do this. You can take it a step at a time. You can start, gathering good days instead of bad days. You can start putting together days that you were eating nutritious, helping your body, healing up, and you just start stacking those up. And just like eating and stacking up all the bad days ballooned into this massive metabolic problem that we all have, and inflammation problem and sicknesses we all have, we can start going the other way. And the thing is, man, when you give the body what it wants, when we were going down and digging ourselves into a hole, we were fighting against one amazing machine. Like, really, it's amazing what we all lived through when you think about what we did to our body. And
all the shit we put in our body. Yep.
Yeah, and it's because our body, what God built here, is amazing. Okay, and we were fighting against it, and it was by the grace of God slowing down our own destruction that we were causing. But now, when you give the body what it needs to heal, well, now it's in your corner.
It's going to recover.
And it recovers way quicker than it did to put it on. Everybody goes, well, it took that long to put it on. It's going to take that long to take it off. No, wasn't. Your body was fighting against it and doing its great job because it's incredible. God's machine that he built for us is incredible. And I'm living proof. Michael's living proof. Lindy's living proof. It heals way quicker. It just doesn't feel like it from where you're at because you're so sick. People are so sick, they're so addicted. But this, and this is why I love the carnivore communities and movements here that we're seeing, because we're putting the truth out there. And boy, big pharma hates it. The doctors hate it. The food companies hate it because they're seeing it, And I mean, it's crazy because I was talking about this a little bit last Sunday, but I have an Instagram video up with just a small little short reel that just enraged about 20,000 people. It was pretty funny. And so they started making comments. But what was so crazy is, some of it I get, basically the gist of it is that they all jumped on board to give me a hard time because I was talking about nutrition and how eating the standard American diet will make you weak, especially men. It'll take out your testosterone, screw up your hormones, make you weak, and that's beneficial to powers that be, right? They want weak men. Yeah, I was just throwing that out there. And I get all these things because I'm not there yet, right? I'm not what they consider a success story.
Skinny.
Yeah, I'm not skinny or fit or
but lean. From where we were to where we're at now, it's such a big difference.
Well, also, it's kind of funny, right? Because where I'm at right now, there's a bunch of guys that I look at, like I know that I got another 150 pounds to lose. Fine. Granted, I'm not disputing that. But some of these people, you go to their page that they're giving me crap for being fat, and I look at them and sure, I got an extra 100 pounds on me than they do, but they are weaker than me. They're inflamed. Their face and their skin looks like crap. These guys are, a lot of these guys are in rough shape, right? And they're like, you got, whatever. And I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, okay, so I know where I'm at. I know where you're at. I can see it, but I know that this month I'm going to fast for 14 days out of this month. I haven't had anything but water and animal products. I haven't had carbs or had a cheat day or an accident in 20 months now. And I work out now and I do all these things. And yeah, I'm not there yet, but I will definitely be at that finish line. But I'm looking at these people that are sitting here fighting for the system that is destroying them, that's making them sick, that's killing their testosterone, that they're addicted to. And I was sitting here going, why is everybody lining up to give me a hard time overstating something that's so obviously a fact, that the food system is making people weaker, right? And I mean, it's an absolute fact that 74% of the world's population is obese, overweight, or metabolically sick. So this isn't even up for debate. Like, the food is absolutely making people sicker. And these people are lining up to defend big food and pharma making people sick because of the calorie in, calorie out hypothesis. They're like, nobody made you eat it. And it's like, okay, yeah. But if you take away and you price people out of the healthy foods and you saturate the food environment, with heroin, right? And then you fight for the people that are putting heroin on the shelves to say, well, yeah, there's, 99.9% heroin on the shelves, and they sneak it into stuff and they use, all this stuff to hide it under, natural ingredients or other natural flavors or whatever. And they don't tell you about it, but all you got to do is not eat it. It's just the craziest argument. But then you think about it, and they're having these arguments with you and fighting with you because I was attacking. Yeah, exactly. I was attacking their addiction. If I'm right, then they got to address that they're crackheads.
Right.
And man, do they not like it? Let me tell you what.
No one likes that.
No, they don't want to have to think that they might have to change because it's just that addictive,
It is.
Huh? Let's see here. I got to go back and see where I'm. Oh, thank you, Michael. You saved me with the stars. I didn't know where I was going. Fear with my stomach made me afraid to die. It was carnivore or nothing left in my mind. Without support to keep going, it might not have worked for me. Well, congratulations, Sherry. We are so glad to have you here. Sherry, what do you think of? Do you think that Steak and Butter Gang helps you? I like to put that out there because I think it's a fantastic place for new carnivores to start. I'd love to hear your
It
opinion
is.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of good advice there. Good people.
absolutely. Doctor, I know I saw that. I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that Dr. Barry was interviewing Michaela Peterson. I can't wait to go see it. I walked up my basement steps today without pushing myself up with my body and elbows pushing me. Exactly. Isn't it
That's
awesome?
awesome.
That's so
Little
good.
changes like that mean so much. Sure,
Well,
MSP.
and they're so compounding, right? It's that compounding penny. I mean, these things sound stupid, to say out loud to people that don't understand, but the fact that I'm just doing my own grocery shopping instead of ordering them, because now,
Right.
I'm not doing I still hate the store and I still would rather order it. Not even though I have the strength and the energy to do it. I hate the lines and I hate the store and I hate shopping with a fervent passion.
Yeah,
But
but you get to pick now what you want.
I do, and it's cheaper. It saves money.
Mm-hmm.
I get to pick what I want. But the biggest thing
And
is,
you're
I'm
out.
like, I need to come up. I need to have reasons to be more active. So I just do it now. And, that actually is a fairly big thing. I hadn't been in a grocery store since 2009. First thing you do once you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. Yeah, then you can see your way out for sure. For sure, Charlie. But I get it. I get it so well because you dug this huge hole. You're in the bottom. You're in the abyss. You're staring into the abyss. And I don't know. What was it? Nisha said, if you be careful staring into the abyss, because the abyss will stare back. But then Jordan Peterson always says, I say, bring it on, stare into the abyss until you see the light, And that kind of makes sense. And I think that's where I think God has to make you see the light in the abyss. And I think we get lost in the abyss. And I think that when we're weak and we're hooked on the food, and we know that we can't do it for forever. We know we have a certain amount of white knuckle willpower and strength in us. And right. We've all done it so many times that becomes less and less because we've lost the weight so many times.
Like a yo-yo. Yeah, mm-hmm. Up and down, up and down. You lose the weight, you go on a diet, you're all in, you made a plan, you're going to do this for, so you start losing some weight and you're losing the weight, you're scared, you're feeling good. And then all of a sudden you start introducing all the old foods that you used to have before. And before you know it, you're right back where you were before. You gained all the weight that you lost and more. And you're miserable and you're depressed and depression kicks in. It's a mess. It sucks. I've done that so many times.
For sure. 100%.
Can't do it no more. Don't want to do it no more.
Nope. And I mean, that's really just the difference, right? Is that we all get to a spot. And I think this is how we grow. And I think this is why we go through trials and struggles and tribulations and things, because we really are going to take the test until we pass, until we learn the lesson, which is to turn it over to God to get the, really search for meaning and truth in it, which for me, I had to get on my knees. God brought me to carnivore. Carnivore is the proper human diet that God built us to be on. And sure enough, when I got those things right, that was the light in the abyss that gave me a path. And then by doing the right things that nourished the body, all of a sudden it was no longer a white knuckle thing. It was just an obvious thing that things were getting better, and that it was just compounding health every day, getting a little bit healthier every day, then a little bit healthier and a little more healing every day turned into a little more strength every day and a little bit more movement every day. And pretty soon you're free.
What's up?
Yep. 100%. What is iodine and do I need it to start carnivore diet? You do not need it to start the carnivore diet. Iodine, I don't know how to explain that exactly what it is, but everybody needs iodine in their body. Iodine is generally in sea kelp and seafood and stuff. There's not much inland iodine. The things that have the most inland iodine in them naturally is chicken eggs. Okay. But so mostly like I live in the Rocky Mountains, so I don't have much iodine here. So I supplement it. Now, for me, this was the closest thing to a miracle pill I've ever taken because I clearly had a massive iodine deficiency. All I can say is to look up Brownstein, Dr. Brownstein, and Ken Berry's interview.
I'll post a link to that.
Yeah, that's the best one. And then just try it. If you, as long as you have good kidneys and you do what they say, like the amount of iodine that I take is so overdosed compared to what all the bottles say to take and what everybody says. But Dr. Brownstein says that everybody is massively underdiagnosed and underdosed iodine when they're supplementing it, and that as long as you have healthy functioning kidneys, you don't have to worry about it because you'll just pee it out. So I take 50 milligrams of 5% Lugol's. Do you need it to start carnivore? Absolutely not. In fact, most people don't need any supplements ever. I just happen to have such a trashed thyroid that it was just an absolute godsend for me. Yes, SBG is awesome. Lots of people with support, including doctors coming on. So much help there. Love the people and coaches. Absolutely. Appreciate the feedback. Reason for taking aminos. How do you know if you need them, or is it mostly for times of fasting? Okay, so I take aminos for the same reason that I used to take electrolytes, because when I started carnivore, I was in a nutrition deficit, right? And I'm trying to give my body as much support and help as it can. The reality of it is you don't need to take any amino acids because if you're eating enough meat and fat, because it comes in the protein in the meat that you're eating. But that said, we also have to look at our body and our gut microbiome that's got to break down meat, our mitochondria that's got to process, that's got to process the energy out of the meat and the short chain fatty acids and triglycerides that come out of the meat into energy. Same with our liver, a bunch of our organs. And when we first do this, you've heard the term fat adapt or not, Well, there's a lot of metabolic pathways for utilizing protein, iodine, all this stuff and amino acids that are not super healthy, and it takes a while to heal them. And it's quite the process for your body to make all these things. It's got to, like gluconeogenesis. One of the reasons that I used to be able to eat as much meat as I wanted to eat, as much protein as I wanted to eat at first, is because the process of gluconeogenesis, which is taking, fat and turning it into glucose, is a really complicated process. It's hard on, it's like hard on the body. It's really got to work to do it. And at first I wasn't gluconeogenesis adapt. I didn't have a good metabolic pathway to gluconeogenesis. And so I wasn't having gluconeogenesis issues. I wasn't having insulin spikes when I would eat protein. But then after I had done carnivore for about a year, all of a sudden I started having gluconeogenesis spikes. Well, because I healed my body. So now my body had created a metabolic pathway to gluconeogenesis, and I started making glucose out of fat when I would overeat excess protein more than I could process and absorb. So long story short, what I'm saying is that amino acids, I believe, and I believe this for pretty much any supplement that you might be in a severe deficit of, is helpful at first because it takes your body time to extract this stuff from food. And so when you take a branch chain amino acid or a what's the other word that I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank here. But if you take the not essential amino acids, if you take essential amino acids or any of the branch chain, they're already broken down a little bit easier form. And so for me, I was just taking them purely to help my body catch up and help it heal a little bit faster and to fill a deficit. And that's the only reason why I was doing it. I liked them. It helped me have better lymphatic movement. But to your question about do you just take them when you're fasting? Absolutely not, in my opinion. They break a fast, in my opinion, and they make it really hard. They make me hungry. It makes it really hard to fast with, yeah.
When I was doing my 21-day fast in January, as soon as I introduced the aminos, I was done.
Yeah.
I had the strongest cravings I had in like 8 months time. It was unreal, man.
Right. And I agree with you. One of my problems, remember when at the beginning of the year when we started with a 5-day fast and we're trying all that stuff, I had the worst time fasting, and that's why I was taking those amino acids through all of it.
And it was also the cold weather too. Fasting in the winter is tough.
Yep, it was.
I'm noticing this time I'm 10 days in now on my fast, and this time it's so much easier. When it's hot, you don't feel like eating anyways.
No, you don't. No. You don't feel like eating. You just kind of, yeah, for sure.
But in the wintertime, it's different, and it's a lot tougher.
Absolutely. So the quick answer is you don't have to have aminos, and you surely don't have to have them to be a carnivore, but I think that they help. Yep. Oh, yeah. I think they help. I think they help things heal. I mean, they helped me move more lymphatic fluid. They helped me sleep a little bit better. I grew hair back.
Lindy said the same thing, that it helped her move fluid.
Yeah, so I think they're a good thing. Let's see. You three are beyond words of appreciation for all the time, effort, and caring you give to this site, sharing information and experiences. Good graces, take my breath. Oh, thank you so much. I sure appreciate it, Anna.
Anna, this is why we do this. We want to help others that were stuck where we all were for so long. And, the three of us all didn't think that we would ever get to this point where, well, coming on YouTube and talking and doing this in the first place, we never would have done this.
For sure.
But to have our lives coming back and getting the freedoms back that we used to have, that we lost for so many years.
For sure.
For me, I've been 24 years now. It'll be almost 25 that I've been homebound. I've been stuck in my apartment for 5 years now. So,
Yeah, I'm coming to get Michael. He just doesn't know it. Next year, he's going to be out here strutting his stuff, and I'm coming to get him. So,
we'll see. I think I'm still a year and a half, 2 years away.
Oh, that's fine. I'll come say hi, and then I'll swing back around next summer. Exactly what Michael just said. Yo-yo dieting, my life story. Thank God. At 57, he led me to keto and into June 2018, and then carnivore into 2023. Saved my life. Absolutely, Susan. And we're so glad.
She's got a follow-up to that. She's down 170 pounds with 80 to 100 more to go. That's awesome.
Awesome. Great
Congrats.
job. Yeah, and how freeing,
Oh, big difference.
Yeah, huge. I feel like I need things simple so I don't overwhelm myself. It's meat, water, butter, egg, salt, and pepper. All I need to get started. Yeah, and I mean, so that's all good. And it just depends. Like, I don't know where you're starting at. I don't know how bad your cravings are, But if you find yourself, I like what you're saying here. The only thing, in my opinion, that I would cut out of it, and you don't have to by any means, but the thing in this list of things that I can't, well, there's two things I cut out, but the pepper I can do. The pepper, I have an immune, like
oxalates.
Yeah, well,
especially if it's black pepper.
Yeah, black pepper ruins me, which, believe me, I fought it for like 6 months and didn't think it was possible, but yeah, it was tearing me up.
What about white pepper for you?
White pepper does better for sure, But as far as spices go, any kind of herbs or spices or whatever, like one ingredient, freeze dried, organic, that's the way to go. And
cleaner the better.
Yeah, you test them out once at a time. But at first, the lowest amount you can do, the best. So, but pepper, I'm not going to say not to have it, but if you notice that you're phlegming up and you're still having inflammation and you're having stomach problems or diarrhea, then just try a week without it and see.
And then if you want to introduce it back, try the white.
Right. Pepper. Try the white. Yep.
It's the black is the skin around the pepper. It's got a lot of oxalates in it.
For sure. And it
will. The white peppers, it removed it.
and it will jack you up. And most anything in the onion family will jack you up. And so, anyhow, just certain things do that. But ultimately, I like how simple you're making it. The only thing that I would add to this is in the short term, if you're having a hard time with sugar cravings, if you're having a hard time sticking to it, if you're being like just driven crazy, you have to do three things. Eat more fat. Now the fat's going to be tricky when the fat's going to be tricky when you're first doing it because it'll give you the runs. You're already going to have a very close relationship with the commode for a while, and and your bile in your stomach has to get used to utilizing fat. It's not going to be used to it at first. But if those two things, if you're getting those worked out and you're still can't open up your appetite enough to get enough food in to get past the cravings, then you can add some dairy for a short time, add some cheese, because that will open up your appetite for sure.
And not shredded cheese, go for the blocks.
Yeah, don't get shredded stuff. Has
slices, right?
Yeah,
it's got that coating on it, so it doesn't stick together. You don't want that. No. Try to get the cleanest cheese as possible.
For sure, yeah. Because I mean, if you think that's crazy, take your shredded cheese and put it in a bowl of water and watch the water turn to white slime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for sure. All right. Stay strong with praying support like awesome people like Todd, Michael, Lindy. This is a caring carnivore community. Absolutely.
Carnivore community is awesome.
Got to stay immersed in it. If you're new, I always tell people, I am an admin at the Steak and Butter Gang. I don't get paid to say this. I get nothing for saying it. I don't take a paycheck from there. I don't get anything from there. I just highly believe the best place for new carnivores to start is Steak and Butter Gang. I think it costs $30 a month or something, but it's a huge supporting, helpful hand at Steak and Butter Gang. So definitely try it out if anybody is having a hard time, because you need a community and you need people that have broke trail, that have gone through all this stuff before you. Sherry, thanks, Todd and Michael. You both are awesome. So I appreciate it, Sherry. You are awesome as well. You're doing fantastic. Summer 2026, Michael and Todd will be flying to Alaska to go fishing with Bill Knott.
That sounds like a great time. I always wanted to go to Alaska.
I'm in. I'm all in. So, Bill, I don't know if you just heard, but we just invited ourselves to your join. So you better put a couple extra seats on that quad. Yep. We don't get the fat from, or where don't get the fat from? Just the meat at first. I think so. Yeah, the meat. So try to get fatty cuts of meat. Don't get lean cuts of meat. This is why you don't want to do like chicken and stuff. You want to stay.
Yeah, I told them to get chuck roast.
Yeah, chuck roast.
Fatty, nice fatty chuck roast. Cook it.
80-20, even 73, whatever. Hamburger.
Yep. Ground beef. Yep.
Get that first, but then add, as you can tolerate it, add tallow. Just know that rendered fat is not your friend at first. That'll send you to the potty. You need cold fat. So if you're going to do a bunch of tallow, try to eat it cold where it's solidified. I know it sounds gross, but you'll get used to it, and it's better. If you take down hot, liquidy, greasy fat, it's going to go through you like, grease lightning through a goose. So it ain't going to be pretty. Justin Wilson cooking show back in the day always said black pepper is dark and are not able to digest. Yeah, right. He would say red pepper is the real pepper. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I remember him. Yep.
That is a fact. Holy cow, we caught up on the questions. You guys
MJ, how old are you?
You guys are slacking, by the way. We're rifling through these. And can you tell it's
or you're just talking fast?
I am talking fast. I took a lot of iodine today. So
yeah, did you?
I did. Bring it on. All right. Yeah, I think we caught up. Let's see how we're doing on.
And just to clarify, the South Chicago Packing Wagyu beef tallow is in stock on Amazon. I did find it. It was the link that I followed from my past orders wasn't taking me to where it was. So
Oh wow, 35, 11 years bedridden.
wow.
So let's see. So when you were 24 is when it kind of happened. Yeah, man, I can relate, man.
Comes on
I was
fast. Right?
yeah, I was 600 pounds when I was 14. So I know exactly where you're coming from. Yeah, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to help you, man. You are a young man and you can definitely get
Oh
through
yeah.
this.
Now, MJ, now's the time to do it, man. I wish I was 35 again and knew what I know now back
Yeah.
then, because my
Yeah.
life would be completely different from where it is now.
Yeah. And
So you can change it.
MJ, I would love to also help you with some private coaching too. So definitely take down my email address. It's the
Yeah,
carnivore.
I sent it. Kind of
Okay.
work here at Gmail. Yep. But yeah, now's the time to do it. 35, man. Uh,
For sure, man. And it happens
I'm
quick.
54, and I started when I was 53, and I wish I would have found this back when I was in my 40s,
For
20s,
sure.
30s. Yep.
Yep, you can do it. You can absolutely do it. All right. Any more questions?
But do I cook with tallow, or well, I cook with mine, and I also take tallow and I put it on top of my scrambled eggs in the morning.
Right. So I do the same thing, but here's the thing. You can cook with tallow, right? But don't take all the hot grease and dump it like
Right.
into your food and turn it into a greasy soup mess. So you can fry in tallow, you can cook in tallow. If you're making omelets, it'll soak up a good amount of tallow.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying that you should make a dip out of it or top your steak with it like a pat of butter and let it melt just a little bit with the residual. Like let your steak rest like you normally would. Or one thing I do is I hate it when I say do.
You've been
I,
really good about that. You haven't been doing that much.
I know I got to stop that. But one thing
I
I
want you to
do,
get back into it because I enjoyed it.
I bet you do. One thing that I do frequently is I'll put the tallow in with ground beef, but then I let it sit out. Like I'll put it in a like let's say like one of those cake pans, right?
Right.
And I'll push it all in there, the ground beef with a lot of tallow, and it'll come up as grease, but then it'll kind of get thick,
Yep.
you know? And then once it gets thick, it turns into kind of like a pemmican or a paste, you know? I know it sounds gross, but if you put Tabasco in there and salt in there and you let it thicken up and eat it more at room temperature, not hot, not cold, but room temperature, that's the way I prefer to get that in. And that's a good way to start training your stomach um, to get used to eating, processing more fat. Grey Wolf, I started almost 2 years ago and I've dropped from 48
48.
to a 38. That's incredible, man.
Good job,
Incredible.
Wolf.
Great job. I was
320
over.
to 249.
That's incredible, man. I mean, what an achievement, right? And and
Hey,
those are all great things, but I bet you feel like $1 million too.
oh, it feels like a brand new person.
Yep. Yes, I said I've found I have negative reactions to many herbs and spices. By the way, Michael, you have amazing eyes. My children and grandchildren do not approve of the way I eat.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the spices.
That's awesome. And
Eliminate when you first start. Try to eliminate everything else that you don't need. Just stick to the basics. Eliminate it and see how you feel. Go for 60 days, 30 to 60 days. See how you feel. And then you can slowly add back one at a time and see what triggers you.
for sure. 100%. And you know what's funny too? Like I didn't know this at first, but a lot of this stuff is just crutches, A lot of it's crutches, which we all need at first. But you do kind of grow out of it. Like
Right.
at a certain point, your taste, but like we don't even understand when we're stuck in the standard American diet how screwed up our taste buds are. Like we're blasted with this hyper palatable chemicals that are built to just give us, send off endorphin activity in our brain like Christmas lights all the time. And when you finally get far enough away from that and you kind of go through a little bit of a
Simplify it.
cleansing,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
it's just like all of a sudden you taste all these nuances in food.
Yeah.
And you're like, all of a sudden, like most of the time right now, what I'm eating, I don't even put salt on it anymore because I don't need it. It's salty on its own. I literally have just been smoking food just by itself in a smoker with nothing on it and the smoke flavor. And it tastes delicious. I mean, it tastes so good. And sometimes I'll put a little finishing salt on it, way lighter than I used to. And it's perfect for me.
Yeah, just think of all the stuff that we used to put on the food that we used to eat. The barbecue sauces, ketchup, mayo, and everything else that we used to throw on it just to eat. We don't do that no more.
Nope. Don't have
and
to.
The food tastes great. No.
Right. And you know what's funny is you do this long enough and you go back. I have never done this on carnivore, but I used to do it on even keto. So I can imagine what it is. And I hear from my brother and my mom that have done this a few times. When you go back and you eat something crazy like a pizza or a soda,
Sweet.
Yeah, they
especially
said that
the sweet stuff. So
yeah, like for instance, my mom kind of purposely relapsed because she gets depressed sometimes, and she just decided she was going to go back to eating donuts and having Diet Coke here. Well, when I was in Texas, she did that for about 2 weeks. She's on carnivore now willingly. Like before, my mom's got Parkinson's, and I'm
to twist her arm. Huh?
Before I had to twist her arm because I made her stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna. Now that I know what this stuff does, I'm not gonna kill you with it. So she stayed carnivore for probably 6 months pretty well. And she had a lot of things that happened and helped. But she decided that she needed more stuff. And what had really happened was she started cheating. Well, she started having the maid that comes and helps her clean. She started having the maid bring her in, sneak her in some junk food. So she got just enough. Wasn't a lot, but it was like some pudding cups and some jelly for her keto bread. Well, she got enough sugar that it kicked back in that sugar craving. She got mad at me. She decided she was going to go ahead and eat whatever she wanted to eat because she's 83 years old or whatever, and she can eat what she wants. And I said, fine. And that was about the time that I was going to Texas to hack your health. So mom started eating like off the Richter scale. Like all of a sudden one day I come in and there's, 2 dozen donuts, cake donuts, fudge frosted donuts and brownies and cheesecake and all. I mean, she went off the deep end, and she's always been addicted to Diet Coke, and the house was full of Diet Coke. And I just threw my hands up because I'm like, well, this is probably going to kill you, because she's got Parkinson's and all sorts of stuff going on. I was like, well, I can't stop her. So I went to Texas for 10 days. When I came back, she had been watching my videos that I had been kind of doing from Texas, and she was watching. That got her into watching old videos of me, and also Bella the Steak and Butter Gal and Dr. Canberry.
Probably some carnivore kip in it too, right?
Lots. Well, no videos of me, all carnivore kip, and she thought it was me. But then when I got home, she starts talking to me. She goes, I need butter. She was watching Bella the Steak and Butter Gal because I was down there with her. So she got onto Bella's videos, started watching Bella, and she decided she needed all this butter. But I finally asked her, it's like, what's going on? She goes, that stuff made me sick, and none of it even tasted good this time. Because mom's taste buds had changed, and she jumped back into it. So 6 months was enough that it took all the fix away from all the crap. So it didn't do what it did for her before, and it didn't taste like she remembered it tasting. Nothing tasted right. And so she's like, and it made her sick. So she's now willingly carnivore, which is pretty amazing, or more willingly. She was always somewhat willingly, but now she's like, I don't have to bug her at all. She's like, you need to get, what are you cooking for meat and all this stuff. And so I don't know. It's pretty funny that, her taste buds changed so much that it actually now pushed her back into carnivore. Yep, and I'll be 65 next month. Wow, congratulations. Feeling great in 65. I have plantar fasciitis and it's worse. Does it go away? I know I'm trying to think of instances. I know I've heard people talk about plantar fasciitis. I don't know if Ken Berry or anybody has a video, and I can't remember, but I know I've heard of people talk about that in SBG, but I can't remember. I'm going to assume, at the very least, it's not going to make it any worse, you know. But I would assume, I've seen so much heal that's not supposed to heal. I'm going to assume that it gets better, but I could not tell you, to be honest with you. I don't know. I haven't actually seen him in a while either. I'm not sure.
I just checked. He just posted a video 4 days ago.
Oh,
so he's still around.
He's still kicking.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I know anybody that doesn't know this. When I first started YouTube, Mom came out and asked me why I was talking funny on this video, and I came out, and my own mother was on a Carnivore Kip video and thought it was me. And so I was like, Mom, I'm your son, and you don't. And she mistake me for.
And that's why I tease him all the time about Carnivore.
Yeah, because she thought I was using a funny accent to do a video like I was putting on the show for YouTube. And I'm like, that's not me, Mom. Yeah, it was something else. Well, and then also when I was at the Hack Your Health Summit in Austin, somebody came up behind me.
I'm looking for it. Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, somebody came up behind me and said, "Are you the guy that runs from light pole to light pole?" And I'm like, "What?" And Lindy just starts laughing because I guess that was a Carnivore Kip thing. And so a guy even mistaken me or whatever for Carnivore Kip and Hack Your Health in Austin. Man. Oops, there we go. Can you give me a list of meats I should buy? This will be my first time trying carnivore. I have a bad sugar craving. If I was going to give you a quick list, I don't know what your budget is. And I don't know how good you are at cooking meats or what you have to cook with, But I mean, honestly, the safe bet is hamburger, right? High fat hamburger. Mm-hmm. I would start there and then also go to like chuck roast is another good one and put it in a crock pot or an Instapot. Either one of those are good options. But then as far as steak goes, you can do chuck eye steaks are okay. I do like picanha too. New York's aren't bad, but the ribeye is king with the fat on it. And what I like to do is go to Costco and I buy the full rib roast, which is about where I'm at. It's about $200 for 16 pounds. And then I cut about 16 pounds of ribeyes into steaks. But I like that because it has the most fat and it's very tasty and juicy. But you don't have to do just that. You can do, I don't know, you can do a lot of things. There's so many people that just do eggs and bacon and hamburger. And those are fine too. Yeah.
Ground chuck. I like ground chuck. I make my ground chuck. I throw egg in there and a little bit of seasonings, whatever I like in there. And I make like little loaves out of it. And then I throw them inside on top of the Ninja, or I make meatballs out of them.
Right.
And you get a little extra fat with the ground chuck.
And you know what I like to do? And I still like to do this. I don't eat bacon much anymore at all.
Your burgers?
Yeah, maybe find one of those. Also, and I haven't done it a lot lately because I haven't really needed to. But I don't mind doing pickled jalapenos and things because the pickling process takes the oxalates out of the jalapenos. So that was and I like vinegar-based things. Vinegar was one of the things. So I was making these that I really enjoy, where I take a pound of bacon and a pound of hamburger. Yeah, so I take a pound of bacon and I chop it up with 2 butcher's knives. And then I take a pound of hamburger and I mix them together and I make 50% bacon, 50% ground beef patties. And then I put jalapenos in them. And then I either air fry them or put them on the smoker now. And those are delicious. Those are so good. Yeah.
Like that.
That's me chopping it up, mixing the bacon into the ground beef. And that bacon fat just breaks down and renders into the burger.
And this is what he started with.
Yep. That's a ribeye. That's not what I started with. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what you started with, but that's what it looks like when he's making it.
Yeah, so that's one pile of chopped up bacon and one pile of hamburger, about the same amount, about a pound of each, and then you just mix it up. Yep. And it's delicious. I mean, it tastes good every time. That bacon fat renders down into the beef, so it makes it so juicy, like it doesn't get dry at all. And the jalapenos is, yeah, that's them. Those are things of beauty. Those things taste delicious. Those things are absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they are good.
Yeah. Susan Hampton. I don't think it's so funny, Susan.
Oh, about the
Yeah.
kid? Yeah.
Todd maybe need to keep her. So she definitely does. So we just got her new dentures that she's getting. So next month she's getting new hearing aids. And then the next month she's getting new glasses. So yeah, she's getting an overhaul right now because she definitely needs new glasses. Oh man. About the J. Curl's 5% iodine, it has 2.5 milligrams of iodine plus 3.7 of potassium iodine per drop, which adds up to 6.25 per drop and 12 point whatever per drop. So does the potassium iodine not count? I guess not, because that's not how anybody was counting it on. You'd have to get Dr. Brownstein's book, to be honest with you. Here's all I can tell you for sure is that I'm taking 20 drops of the 5% and I feel amazing. And when I took 6 drops of 5%, I felt a little bit better. When I took 12 drops of 5%, I felt even better. When I took 20 drops 5%, I felt amazing, right? And so that's where I stopped because I feel like that was kind of what I needed. That's when I don't know, as I'm clearly just doing it by feel. So I don't know how it works. I've been told that only the 5% iodine counts, right? Or the 2.5 milligrams. That's all that counts. The potassium does not. And so that's all that I count. But yeah, it could be, I see what you're doing there. And I couldn't give you that answer. I can only tell you what I'm doing. I've been eating a lot of browned minced meat, and I had a couple of spoonfuls of cream cheese. When it's hot, tastes so good. Absolutely. Oh,
I've
and
had it before. It's good. Yep. That's
delicious. And Lindy, what she does too is she does that, but she does egg yolks. She puts egg yolks in her beef. And that's supposed to be real delicious too. I like Bragg's apple cider vinegar and glass water before going to bed. Yeah. Do you know about
Switch? Yep. Somebody, Billy Gates, got a hold of that company, and they switched to peel apples now, and you don't want to use Bragg's no more.
No, Bragg's is now garbage.
Yep. Fairchild is what Todd's using now. I gotta try to get some of that.
What about dry rubs on meat? Is there anything? Can you guys hear my dog barking?
We heard that bark. Yeah.
Do not do that. I'm online. No. Hold on. Sorry. You know what she wants? This is how spoiled my dog is. I feed her chopped up stew meat, and she's barking at me because she's hungry, and she knows I have to eat. Yeah, because I was just feeding her. She's telling me I need some meat, but I'll give it to her. All right, there we go. Now she'll stop barking. But what about dry rubs? So I hate rubs altogether. And I say that knowing that I just used some on the last 2 pieces of meat that I smoked. I only used it because Mom has appetite problems because she had gastric bypass and she's getting weak. And so she keeps complaining that the meat that I'm making is too bland. And so I just use rub on the outside because, I tried to get one with no carbs as possible, and I used some Traeger stuff. But the long story short short story to it is, I don't like rubs at all because I don't like any prepared spice mixes because they're full of a bunch of crap. The stuff and the hidden ingredients and the colors. And one of the things that I saw on one of these rubs that I used that made me mad was far down on the list, but it was actually some sort of soy oil that they had in the rub itself.
Mm-hmm. They put soy in so much shit nowadays, it's unreal.
Yeah, and so all that I did, I didn't really care because I just ate around the crust of the rub and I just ate the center. But Mom likes it, and I fight this constant battle with Mom of palatability and appetite, because if it's got to be soft, it's got to be hyper palatable, because Parkinson's patients have a hard time swallowing. She's got bad dentures, which is why we just got her new dentures. Her taste buds aren't so great anymore. And she has gastric bypass, so she has no room. So it's just a constant struggle to keep food down her. So I basically try to make it a 50-50 where I can put some stuff, even if it's a little bit bad, it'll make her eat more of it.
Right.
Because right now she's she's under eating. So, but in the short story, I would say don't use rubs and make if you're going to use rubs, make your own out of single ingredient spices and make one.
Mm-hmm. Mix them. They're easy to make.
What do we both eat besides beef? So right now I only eat beef and egg yolks, but that's not, it's not a law that I'm on. It just happens to be what feels good right now. But I eat bacon, beef, lamb. Occasionally I'll have shrimp, even pork of any kind, really, if you want it, and eggs, and that's pretty much it for me. And tallow.
Same for me. With actually exactly the same except shrimp. I don't eat shrimp. I do have salmon once in a while, or a trout.
Yeah, I like smoked salmon too. That's good. Howdy.
Hello.
Let's see. Just took a break to mow the lawn, weed whack hedges. Nice. Okay, and you already told them about the Fairchilds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, White House. Yeah.
I posted a link earlier. Let me see if I can find it again.
White House is another good one. Yep. Bragg's recently got bought up by Bill Gates. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay. Susan Hampton, I think Food Lion, Walmart has White House brand. Oh, nice. Yeah, they're getting them all up to speed on the Brags. Buy up all sorts of Food Lion's Natural Promise. Nice. Yeah, it's too bad. It's so funny when there's a benefit to something. It's like, the powers that be go and try to buy it up. They try to ban it. They try to get rid of it. They try to, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's really just trying to get a monopoly. It's like, oh, people are really liking this thing because it has a benefit. Let's buy it up and ruin it.
Yeah.
And then make them something cheaper out of poison that we can sell them.
Yep, that messes us up.
There we go. Food Lion has White House. Nice. I don't know what Food Lion is. Apparently we don't have one in Montana. All right.
And when you do have your apple cider vinegar, you want to have it with the mother in it.
Yeah, for sure, if you can. Okay. I think we caught up again. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Food Lion is a grocery chain here in Southeast. Nice. Nice. You guys got any more questions? Love to answer them before we get off here. We're probably going to quit a little bit early because I got to work tomorrow, and we started an hour later so I could get to it after work. But when this was on Audible, because we can't make Sundays. That's why we're talking faster. Get more in for your buck. more jaw wagging for your buck. When is Michael going to add wings to Todd's baby picture?
I already got a cowboy hat on him. Yeah.
Do not give him any ideas, you evil.
Todd gets mad at me, and He threatens to kick me off the show when I do this stuff to him.
I threatened to find him and freaking come to his house and draw stuff on his face while he's sleeping. Pay him back.
He wasn't too happy about this.
You see what he did? He made a bobblehead replica of me in a wrestler outfit that he made up for me in a previous meme that he was already making fun of me in. You know what is most insulting about that is they did kind of a terrible job on the hat.
Yeah, the hat was
Yeah, that was rough, but I get it. A for effort though. Everything else is pretty hilarious about it. And I mean, they got the color of the beard. Remember, that was when my beard was lighter though.
lighter. Yeah, I know.
Todd, your mom is lucky to have you supporting her. Well, thanks so much, Charlie. If at home, they would just give her sweets till death. Yeah, exactly. And that's when I went to Texas, that was the talk we had. I said she was trying to go to a home because she was tired of me not letting her eat donuts. And that's why me and my brother talked and we were like, well, let's let her have what she wants for a little while and it's going to make her sick. And then she's going to not want it anymore, you know? And that did work, you know, because she was throwing a fit. And it's just like, Mom, I don't get to eat that stuff anymore. And I could fare it, but better than you can. But at a certain point, we lose our options. You know, we use up all the leeway and the grace that we had in this body and this life to make mistakes like that. And we've got to get straight. And now's the time. You know, we got to do what we got to do. So, yeah, no, that was a real thing. Oh, thank you so much, Susan. We sure appreciate it. Don't encourage him. Just don't encourage him. That's all I ask. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I still mostly work at home, like because Mom's here now. And that was one thing that kind of coincided with me kind of being stuck in the house. But I do now go to the shop every morning and see the guys again, and I'm completely mobile and I get to do whatever. And that feels great again, just to have the option. Well, I mean, it feels great again to like leave the house and go to the job site to drop off material, or if the guys need new prints or whatever, like, to actually go to the job again. Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Thanks so much. So I know how the real reason Todd has changed to the white hat so it doesn't match the bobblehead so well. Absolutely. I still have the black hat and it'll be coming out as soon as it gets cold. This is my summer straw hat.
When he puts the white hat on, I call him Boss Hog.
That's fair. that is not at all hard to see where that comes from.
All you're missing is a cigar, man.
For sure. Hate that I came in late too. You are my favorite people. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. But we will be back, and I am trying to get online more often. It was hard this summer, but I am going to be making more and more videos. I was online on Sunday. We're online today. I'm going to try to get online one more time before next Sunday and try to get some videos up. I got a lot more shorts that have been coming out. I don't know if you guys saw those, but I've been getting those pumped out. And I am getting to the point where I'm going to start getting some more content. I want to more rants and raves of things that I'm really thinking that been on my mind lately. So I'm going to start getting some of those out there. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys very, very much. And we love you guys. And we'll see you at least next Sunday. Are we doing Sunday?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Soon.
If not, maybe we'll see you soon.
Yeah, we're going to see
what's going on.
Watch your make sure your notifications are on and it'll come up. But we'll be putting it up soon.
Hit that like button too, guys.
One time. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. Have a great week.
See ya.